So if you want to add content to the top of a category page, you already have a template for it. You just need to go in and add blocks for it. Then what you're going to do is when you're on that page, go ahead and click on Edit Site. From here, I recommend opening your document overview. Whenever you add blocks, you want to do it inside of this group so that everything that's in like your content area is grouped together. And then we already have this header set up in this template. So I'm just going to press enter so that I'm inserting blocks underneath that. And then when I click on the plus icon, go to patterns. And most of the blocks I'm going to want to insert are either going to be create or custom because that'll be full width content, or I'm going to want creator query loops. And that'll just let me select posts based on a query rather than having to manually put content in. So it's going to depend on basically your content here. Either custom or query loops will determine how your content is managed. We don't want something that is going in a sidebar or into a content that's next to a sidebar. However, we could look at starting points. We have a few in here. We have just like all of the blocks. Probably don't need that. The home page and then the recipe filter. This homepage could be a good starting point, and we could always create our own pattern to add to these. But in this instance, let's say we want to go to query loops. That'll be probably the easiest for us to edit. And then looking at what I want to do, probably this one will let me add 10 posts to the top. So let me add in this query. From here, I'm going to go back to my document overview. I can see that I have my posts in here, but I want to customize what they are. So I can obviously change out the header, the description, and then whatever my button says. But if I want to change out what these posts are, I need to make sure that I've selected this query loop in my document overview. Once I have that, when I'm inside of my sidebar, it's going to give me options for the query loop. And then I can come down here, and I recommend either using filters to pull in posts by category, but since we're already in a category, what you'll more than likely want to do is use selective posts to pick exactly which 10 posts you want to highlight, and you can control the order of them by selecting them in the order you want them to display as well. So that's probably going to get you 90% of the way there is by going into the block inserter patterns using query loops. And then from your document overview, making sure that you select the query loop block and then adding selective posts into there.